안녕하세요. Riding on the Korean wave. Welcome to Thursday's edition of the Culture Wave. I'm Kwon So-ah in Seoul. Explore with us Korea's culture from all aspects and stay up to date with K-entertainment, K-games, K-people, K-everything. And all of that with our co-host Bella Kim today. Hello, Bella.
Hi, So-ah. And hello to everyone joining us today on the Culture Wave. I'm Bella, back again to co-host and fill you guys in with the latest in K-entertainment.
Bella, you and I have lived abroad for quite a long time,
Right.
and I'm sure many of our Arirang TV viewers have as well. Now, if you live in many different places, it can sometimes cause identity crises or maybe just simply many questions about yourself, right?
That's why it definitely helps to, engage with people that experience the similar feelings or similar situations, to talk about their feelings through various programs.
Of course, and that has something good to do with our Hallyu People segment later in the latter half of the day. But we're going to kick off with K-Enter News with you today, Bella. So to start us off, we have a story on Stray Kids' new achievement.
That is right. So Stray Kids have received their 9th gold certificate from the Recording Industry Association of America, RIAA, for their 2024 single album, HAP. The RIAA grants gold certification to singles and albums that surpass 500,000 units in sales in the United States. So according to RIAA, the group earned the gold certificate after HAP surpassed 500,000 units sold in the US. With this achievement, Stray Kids now hold 4 RIAA gold singles and 5 gold albums, including Maniac, Backdoor, Rockstar, and 8. And this actually makes them the very first K-pop act to hold 5 RIAA gold certified albums. And meanwhile, Stray Kids are set to release a new digital single, Mixtape Dominate, on March 21st, the group's very first release of 2025.
Wow, well, let's see if they can get their 10th gold certification with a new release. Now we are going to move on to K-movies, and this is a film coming up that you, Bella, are especially excited about, I heard.
That is correct. I mean, I enjoy most films, basically, but I have to say my favorites are crime and investigation related action films.
Ooh.
Well, there is an upcoming film perfect for me. It's Yadang the Snitch. The new film follows a broker who controls South Korea's drug trade, a prosecutor eager to rise through the ranks, and a detective willing to risk everything to bring down drug-related crime. It stars Kang Han-il, Yoo Hae-jin, and Park Hae-jun. The posters and the trailer for Yadang the Snitch have been released, and the anticipation is definitely growing, and especially for me, as the trailer promises to reveal the backdoor dealings of the country's drug investigations. Yadang the Snitch is set to hit theaters on April 23rd, so everyone join me in marking your calendars. Join me, So-ah?
Okay, I'll see if I can join you, and really great actors, very promising. Now, Bella, we're going to end off with an update on the ballad singer Hui-sung, who died earlier this week. What do you have?
Well, on Tuesday, we reported that Hui-sung was found dead at his home in Seoul on Monday with no signs of foul play, and that an autopsy will be conducted to determine his cause of death. While the preliminary results came in on Wednesday, according to the National Forensic Service, the cause of Hui-sung's death is unknown. It's expected that the detailed examination results, which could include the outcome of drug tests, will take about 2 more weeks to come out. And the authorities are actually looking into whether he left a note or any forms of message. They also found that at least 1 syringe near him when he was discovered at his home. Meanwhile, a 3-day funeral service for Hui-sung is set to begin this Friday at Samsung Medical Center in Seoul. His family initially planned to keep the funeral private, but they decided to make it public to allow time for those who loved him to mourn together. And Hui-sung's brother asked the fans to visit the funeral hall, saying, "Please do not hesitate to keep my brother company on his final journey so that he does not feel lonely."
So fans will have the last moment to say their goodbyes to Hui-sung. And also, Bella, keep us updated on the detailed examination results when they're out.
Will do.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Now we move on to other culture-related news in Korea with our AI anchor, Ari.
Hello and welcome to your AI guide to the latest cultural updates from Korea. Here's our top story. Jeollabuk-do Special Self-Governing Province and its biggest city, Jeonju, have united in their bid to host the 2036 Summer Olympics. More than 1,000 people, including Governor of Jeonbuk State Kim Kwan-young, Jeonju Mayor Woo Bum-ki, and local residents, gathered on Wednesday to reaffirm their commitment to securing the Games, highlighting Jeollabuk-do's victory over Seoul in securing Korea's candidacy for the 2036 Olympics. Governor Kim presented the province's strategy and roadmap leading up to the global sporting event. The gathering also featured various celebratory performances in support of the initiative. The province aims to secure swift pan-government support and focus on promoting bipartisan cooperation to strengthen its bid. An event celebrating the beauty of royal palaces amid Korea's vibrant spring atmosphere is set to begin next month. Two signature nighttime tour programs, Moonlight Tour at Changdeokgung Palace and Gyeongbokgung Starlight Tour, will be offered to visitors selected through a lottery. Participants can explore the palace's hidden corners with expert guides, enjoy traditional performances, and immerse themselves in royal culture while strolling through illuminated palaces. The program also includes an opportunity to try surasang, a royal meal once prepared for kings and queens, along with exclusive access to normally restricted annexes. Tickets can be applied for through Ticket Link, with a limit of 2 per person. The Seogwipo Canola Flower International Walking Festival will return to Jeju Island next weekend. The festival is a signature spring event of Seogwipo City, where participants can stroll along routes that include Jeju's southern coastline against a background of vibrant yellow canola flowers. The event will feature 3 courses of 5, 10, and 20 kilometers. More than 2,000 participants have already pre-registered. Those wishing to take part can sign up online through the Seogwipo Tourism Association's website. The annual event is part of the East Asia Flower Walking League, formed by Seogwipo City, Japan's Kurume City, and China's Dalian City. That's all from me. Stay tuned to the Culture Wave.
Game development requires a great deal of expert knowledge in fields like graphic coding and music. But now there is a tool that has made this process more accessible for anyone to create their own game. Yoon-jin tells us more.
There has been a recent trend in the IT industry where people with expertise in a different field are changing the direction of game development. Even with limited knowledge of what game development requires, like graphics and coding, this new gaming company is focusing on developing a game set to be released in the second half of this year. This is all thanks to what's called a game engine. It is like a toolbox of all the technological skills needed to create a game. With its intuitive interface, users can apply graphic effects in just a few clicks. The use of these game engines has increased efficiency in game development, as they generate the graphics created by the user in real time and display them on the screen.
The game engine has helped me enjoy game development, even during my times of having limited knowledge of programming, and that has made it possible for me to ease into game development.
I think game engines are the foundation to constructing the world, and we need this game engine to develop our games.
There is now greater access for anybody with a creative idea to develop a PC game.
The goal is to democratize game development, where all creators can easily create their own games as they wish.
There are game companies that have developed their own game engines, like Pearl Abyss. It uses its own game engine called Black Space Engine to develop new games.
Internally developed game engines enhance the company's technological assets and also the quality of development. It will introduce more realistic and highly immersive games.
Recently, with the application of AI technology, game engines are expanding their use into other industries, like architecture, automobiles, and fashion. Yoon-jin, Arirang News.
More than 7 million people are registered as overseas Korean residents as of 2023. In a bid to spread information on the Korean diaspora and encourage a stronger Korean identity, the first wave of the KrossOveR, a group of overseas Koreans, have wrapped up their 6-month-long activities as KrossOveR supporters. So for today's Hallyu People, we are now connected to two of them, Oh Min-ju and Valerie Yumi de Pretere. Hello, Min-ju and Yumi.
Hello.
Hello.
All right, thank you for joining us on the program, guys. Now, Min-ju, Yumi, last month you wrapped up your roles as KrossOveR supporters, a program by the Overseas Koreans Cooperation Center, which is an affiliate of the Overseas Koreans Agency. So how was that experience? Why don't we start with Min-ju?
Yes. Okay. So I took on the role as KrossOveR supporter in South Africa. The experience was challenging, but also very exciting. When I started, I didn't know how to properly edit a video, and we had to do this on a monthly basis. So it took a lot of time, frustration, and endless trial and error to get here. But then it was also a lovely learning experience, and I got to meet many different people from various diverse backgrounds. And that was just fun all the way. So overall, it was a memorable experience that I'll very much miss.
So lots of efforts there, but also very fulfilling, I see. And Yumi, how was it for you?
It was way more intense than what I expected. I didn't expect to learn so much. I didn't expect to learn so much about myself as well as about other diasporas around the world. And I really enjoyed the experience. I felt very proud to be part of it and to share my experience as a half Korean, because I'm half Korean, half Belgian. And it even made me want to learn more about my identity. And I decided to enroll in Korean classes after the program ended. So I really enjoyed it.
Wow, joining Korean class. I hope that's going well for you. And Yumi, I heard that your mother, who is Korean, encouraged you to actually apply for this KrossOveR program. How did it start for you, and how were you able to take part in the activities in Singapore, which is where you're currently based right now?
So it was my mother who sent me the form to apply, because in the beginning I didn't really want to. I didn't feel equipped for it at all. But she's the kind of person who she has my back, and she always pushes me outside of my comfort zone. So she was my #1 supporter in this activity. And I decided to not base my content on Singapore-related things, but to base it on storytelling and my own experience and my mother's. So I decided to talk about stories that she would tell me when I was a kid. And that's the main thing that allowed me to learn about my Korean heritage. It's what my mother told me about. So I feel very proud of it, and I was glad to be able to talk about it through my content. It made it relatable, and I think that's what people liked.
Right, everyone loves stories. I think your mom is very proud of you, and really we're also thankful that you listened to your mom and did participate in the program. But now let's turn to Min-ju. Just like many Koreans who live overseas, we heard you had experienced some difficulties for being different. So what do you mean by that, for being different? And also, was there any change to that feeling as you were participating in this KrossOveR project?
Yes. So I think people often struggle when they find themselves or others find them to be different from that particular society's status quo or the norms. And I was the same. I often felt isolated, misunderstood, and unable to understand. But through KrossOveR, I think I learned to view myself not merely as an isolated, atypical individual with a different face, different speech, different mannerisms, but also as a constituent of this larger overseas Korean community. Hearing others' experiences, their challenges, their successes, and their efforts to bridge understanding in their own foreign environment, this gave me a broader and a more compassionate perspective. So this program has actually been a stepping stone in transforming these differences from struggles into a shared growth.
Wow, glad to hear that, it has been a stepping stone for you. Now, Minju, you are currently living in South Africa, and you've also lived in the UK. How is Korea perceived in those countries? Please tell us, what the image of Korea is like, and what is Korea best known for there?
Recently, naturally, as it seems to be a global phenomenon with the Hallyu, the growth of Hallyu, Korea is mainly recognized for its cultural influences in both countries. For example, in South Africa, K-pop and K-dramas are visibly growing in popularity, and I think it's becoming more accessible. For example, I've seen various idol world tour films being released in the cinemas in the cities of South Africa, which is very, surreal. And then Pretoria is also home to the Korean Cultural Center, which is facilitating a great cultural exchange. And this is all contributing towards an image that I dare say hardly existed before, because the general public of South Africa simply did not know much about the country to have formed an image about it. And then, of course, in the UK, Korea has a much wider and a stronger presence with the food, the entertainment, and popular figures like Sonny. And so Korea is very much appreciated for the flavors, the creativity, the innovation, and the global cultural impact that it is making at the moment.
That is interesting, especially because we heard a lot about the popularity of Hallyu growing in Asia and Europe, but we do not hear that often from people from Africa. So it's very interesting to hear your experience there, especially with the concerts being played at movies, which we also talk a lot about here on the Culture Wave. Now, Yumi, in your case, in what way do you recognize the cultural phenomenon around you? You are currently in Singapore, but also you are from Belgium or any other places you have been. What is your take on that?
So growing up in Belgium, I remember that most people didn't know anything about South Korea. They would mix up everything. I always felt different, and they often teased me when I was a kid because I looked different. But now there's been a drastic shift with the Hallyu, and everybody knows about South Korea. Even if I go to a small village in the mountains in France, I would hear K-pop on the radio. It's crazy to me. So I can hear K-pop everywhere, see movies at the Oscars, and taste a bit of Korea everywhere with the restaurants. And I'm really happy that people get to discover a bit of South Korea. But I think it would be better if they wanted to know it less superficially. I know it's fashionable, but I would like them to know Korea on a deeper level, and I'm happy to be part of the people that can help to share a lot more about Korea.
Wow, and I'm curious, how does it make you, feel, Yumi, hearing those K-pop radios or K-pop songs on your radio? How does it make you feel for you?
I feel proud. I feel really proud. I feel like I've always been very proud of South Korea, but now I feel that everybody sees it as well. So I wanted to tell them, I knew about it, I told you about it. And yeah.
Cool. And Minju, I want to ask you as well, how does it make you feel as an overseas Korean, when you hear about Korean culture, contents being recognized around the world, there's the popularity of K-pop or the Nobel Prize for Literature won by the author Han Gang. How do you feel about that as well?
Brilliant. Just as Yumi said, during my schooling years, my friends barely recognized Korean culture, and I couldn't discuss this with any of them. But now I think I can approach any crowd and mention Blackpink, and almost everyone will know them. So this shift feels so bizarre. And then there is the literature that you mentioned. I think that literature requires a deeper willingness to understand the cultural background of the author and the characters. So when books like Pachinko or The Vegetarian by Han Gang gains global recognition like this, it really tends to sink in deeper. And it's in those moments that I really feel that Korea is growing in its influence, and that makes me incredibly proud.
So Minju and Yumi, both of you, I have to agree to what you just mentioned because myself, when I was in Germany, really many people around me didn't know much about Korea. So now you can feel openly proud about being Korean when you talk to people in other countries. So finally, I want to ask you, do you have any words for Koreans overseas who may be struggling with finding their identity or other difficulties? Minju, you first, please.
Yeah, I think people find comfort in knowing that they are not alone. So I would say know that you're not alone. There are 7 million plus people out there, like you said, going through similar experiences. And they're all winning, failing, and surviving just like you and me. So I would say struggle, but do so in a community. Find content, people, or experiences that resonate with you and keep going until those struggles transform into, as I said earlier, a shared growth. Fighting.
Fighting. And Yumi, your final words, please.
It's not always easy to be caught between several identities. I know about it. And there may be times when you feel that you don't belong anywhere because you have several identities. But the truth is, I think you're a complex and richer person because you belong to several places at the same time. So my final words would be to stay open to exploring and cultivating the various identities that make you unique, that make you yourself.
Thank you very much, Minju and Yumi, for sharing your stories and promoting cultural exchange as well as encouraging Koreans overseas in the search for their true identity. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, Bella, as always. And you're going to join us again tomorrow.
Yes, I'll be back tomorrow.
Thank you for spending the past half an hour with us on the Culture Wave, and hope you join us again on Friday at 2 p.m. Korea time and maybe one day here in Korea. Thanks for watching.